In this lesson, I want to introduce conditional formatting. Very similar to an if statement. An if statement is something that I would produce in a new cell, and I could ask to look for certain things in certain cells. So I could say equal if this amount is less than 0, then I'm in the red, or any kind of statement. However, conditional formatting you can do right in the cell, and you can have the cell be formatted in a certain way given a certain condition or something happening. So let's say I have this balance project here, this budget project here, and I want the cell to become a certain color if my budget happens to go into the negatives. Now, I already get, of course, this negative amount, but I want something to stand out. I want it to be pronounced. So you can do one cell at a time and then copy the formatting, or you can select the whole range. I'll just do let's say we'll do the first cell. I'm going to go to conditional formatting here, and I'm going to use one of these highlight cell rules. And what I'm looking for is less than. So if something is less than 0, so here I'm going to say if the cell is less than 0, and then here I can choose one of their predetermined options, or I can choose my own. So I can go right into custom format here and say, all right, I want this to be filled with red, and then let's make the font white. So if this goes below 0, then I want that to happen. Now, of course, this amount is not below 0, so it's not showing me that. If you want to be able to do that for the whole range, I could have selected the whole range first, or your format painter works here. So I'm going to take a sample, go to the paint store. So I'm going to double click this so I can keep going, and I'm going to just select this whole range. Now, I could have, of course, done this when I set it up initially. I could have selected the whole range and set it for that whole range as well. So now it's identifying, I'm going to turn off my format painter, it's identifying every single occurrence. Okay, there just happens to be one in this case. But now anytime you end up going in the negative numbers with your budget, it will alert you with that. I'll give you another example. I do actually keep a budget like this in reality, and when I call it up, I don't necessarily want to have to think about what the date is, even though it's really not that hard, especially when you're on a computer. You can just go down here and check what the date is, bottom right corner. I want it to show up immediately. I want to know when it's today's date. So another option that you have with conditional formatting, I'm going to do this one the other way. I'm going to select all my cells first, and then I can apply the same rule to all of these cells. So now that I've got all of the cells, I can go back to conditional formatting. And again, I'm going to go to cell rules, and I'm going to go to a date occurring. That's what I want right there. I can do this a couple different ways, but they made it really easy now. So a date occurring, and I want today. Show me when it's today. And I can choose one of theirs. So let's say that I like this green fill with green dark text, and that will tell me when it's today. And when I hit OK now, as I scroll up, I'm going to see, you'll be able to see exactly when this video was produced. And you know now that it was produced on January 25th, 2010. So those are just two examples of the conditional formatting features that are available to you. Think about how and when this may be useful for you in your spreadsheets. It's a neat little time saver. Great way to identify certain things that may be happening.